Hi, 5th grade. Welcome back to Bible Time with Mrs. Barr. Sorry that first recording just didn't work out right. So we're going to redo this. This week we're talking about Abraham trusts and obeys God. And today you're looking at Abraham and Lot. Let's look back at your memory verse. Your memory verse is Hebrews 11:17, and it says, "By faith, Abraham, when God tested him, offered Isaac as a sacrifice. He who had embraced the promises was about to sacrifice his one and only son." Okay. For time's sake, we are just going to jump into the lesson. We are looking at Abraham and Lot. We're going to read Genesis chapter 13, verses 1 through 18. Okay, Genesis chapter 13. Verses 1 to 18 says, "So Abraham went up from Egypt to the Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Abram had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver and gold. From the Negev he went from place to place until he came to Bethel, the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had first built an altar. There Abram called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, but the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together. And quarreling arose between Abram's herds and Lot's. The Canaanites and the Perizzites were also living in the land at the time. So Abram said to Lot, 'Let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herds and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left.' Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan toward Zoar was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out toward the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent near Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had parted from him, 'Look around from where you are, the north and the south, to the east and the west. All the land you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go, walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I give it to you.' So Abram went to live near the great tree of Mamre at Hebron, where he pitched his tent. There he built an altar to the Lord. Lot's choice. Lot not only chose the best land, but also the land closest to the wicked city of Sodom. Lot saw that the plain of the Jordan was well watered. It looked very good. Trusting his physical senses, he chose to live there, ignoring God and following his own insight. Proved disastrous for Lot. It can be dangerous not to listen to God's direction. What might happen if we don't listen to God's direction? We can get hurt. We can end up in trouble. We can end up somewhere where God didn't intend us to end up. There's lots of things that can happen. Abram's focus was on eternal things. What are some positive, long-lasting effects or things that last a long time? Prayer, reading the Bible, loving others, sharing Christ, listening to and obeying God. When the quarrel arose between the herdsmen of Lot and Abram had every right to choose first, yet he gave Lot first choice of the land. In doing so, Abram again showed his trust and obedience to God. Lot tried to do things on his own instead of trusting God and listening to what God wanted him to do. His choice revealed a heart leaning toward sin. Lot started by setting up his tent as far as Sodom and ended up living in the city of Sodom. Taking a position of leadership by sitting at the city gate and even offering his own daughters to the violent crowd as bribery to not harm the two men or angels sent from God. Lot had become too distracted to listen to God. Now we're going to look at 2 Peter 2, 7 through 8. And it says, "And if he rescued Lot, a righteous man, who was distressed by the depraved conduct of the lawless, for that righteous man living among them day after day was tormented in his righteous soul by the lawless deeds he saw and heard." How was Lot described? As a righteous man, bothered by the sin around him. Lot was naturally drawn towards sin, though part of him seemed to know it was dangerous. It really was a heart issue. Lot was tricked into choosing the wrong thing. But he seemed to think that it was okay. Is it wrong to be distracted and not listen to God? Of course it's wrong to be distracted by things in the world. God might be trying to tell us to do something or to live a certain way, and if we're distracted and listening to other things, we're not going to be able to listen to what the Lord wants us to do. In contrast to Lot's attitude, Abram focused on God, and he was rewarded for it. God blessed Abram with the whole land. All he could see would be his forever. We're supposed to focus on God, keep our eyes on him, and not be distracted by things of the world. And if we're focused on God, we'll be blessed for it. That is lesson 2.2, Abram and Lot. We'll see you next time. Bye. God bless.